Hi everyone, it's Margot here at My Favorite Quilt Store. And so I changed this pattern up a little bit on the seed packets. This is the pattern that we're working on, and except I'm doing it in blue, as you've seen, but it comes in, we've recolored it in two other colorways, the blue, and we also have this red one. So what I'm going to show you how to make is the 4-patch. And this is a 4-patch that I made to go in the on the top row and at the end of the rows. And so I'm going to show you how to make a 4-patch that'll just be perfect and easy to make with this quilt instead of making the full line all at one time. So the first thing you do is you take 2 of your 4 1/4 inch squares and put right sides together. You make sure you have a good 1/4 inch seam, not a big one, but just a regular, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on now, I was looking at my head for them. A regular 1/4 inch seam that you wanna sew down the side of it. So this will be 1/2 of the 4-patch that we're sewing right now. And then I'm going to get the other half of this 4-patch, put right sides together, and sew my 1/4 inch on it right after I sew this one. It's kind of like you can chain piece these once you pick out which ones you're going to use for the different parts of the quilt. All right, so now we've got this done. So now what I do is I open the 4-patch, the 2 sides up. I press one of them to this side. I press the other to the opposite side. And then you know what? I want to make this a little different because the 2 lights are right next to each other. The 2 darks are right next to each other. So I am going to flip this one this way for when I sew it together. So I still got one pressed one way and the other one pressed the opposite direction. And I'm just finger pressing this right now. You could chain piece all of these and then take it to the iron and iron them up. So I put this together with the seams nested like this. And then I always use these pins called forked pins. I use them a lot in my videos. They just nest the seams together very precisely because it pins it evenly on both sides. And then I'm going to sew these 2 together. And I know that I have one of these squares bigger than the other because I planned it that way so I can show you how I use my ruler to cut it down. So I'm going to sew this together with a 1/4 inch seam. These pins are very fine, so if you go slowly you can go over them, but I would not run fast through them. So I slow down my machine when I'm crossing over the pin so as not to break my needle or to run over the pin. All right, so now I'm done with my seam. And as you can see, I've got this extra bit of fabric down here. I knew that I had cut one of these a little larger than I needed. So now what I would do is, see how that gives it that perfect coming together of the 4-patch. Now what I would do is go to the ironing board and press it, and then take my square up ruler, which is this one right here that I use for the large pieces, put it on top and make sure that this is exactly an 8-inch square. And as you see, you can tell I got to take a little bit off the top up there and square it up so that it will be perfect 8-inch square when I put it into the quilt. And then you can see that all the seams are nested on the back side and pressed each way. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little tutorial on how to do a 4-patch. I did square all of them up so that they would be the same size before I put them onto my quilt. Happy sewing!